And we are back with another episode of Your True Sons. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Rutland. I'm here with Sean Weatherspoon and Jeremy Maclin. Listen, fellas, the NFL draft is coming up, and we've got some other news with a former team, actually, of yours, Jeremy, kind of being in the headlines about the head coach and was he a little bit too rough on the players. But tonight we're going to discuss some of our draft experiences, man, and we're going to tap into Zay Flowers' comments. So I actually want to start there with the comment made by Zay Flowers about his old coach, Harbaugh. I think he said something to the effect of people are getting hurt basically because Harbaugh is running them into the dirt throughout the season. If they had pads on week 16, just a very physical atmosphere that late into the season, which for the listeners who don't know much about it, that is kind of uncommon. But Spoon, so tell me about some of your experiences with coaches who were considered to be the hard coaches that practiced late into the season versus the coaches who were kind of more player-friendly and let the body rest and recuperate.
Well, I was blessed to be a part of some pretty good teams to where we kind of had the flow of the season down to where, like, you didn't have to beat us up a little bit, And back when we came into the league, it was quite a ways ago. 2010, you had 16 games and you had a really long off season. And it was the year before the CBA was changed to kind of, put some restrictions on how much a coach could go out there and pass with his team. And so it was a lot different, man. Guys that were 30 years old, they would get days off. They didn't have to be out there full pass all the time. I would see guys like Tony Gonzalez, Falcon legend Todd McClure, go out and kind of, just work on fundamental things. And then toward the team periods, they'd be a little bit more, coaching the young guys up, getting them ready. So I was blessed to be on a team to where I come from college, so I love to run and hit and run as fast as I can run. But so it didn't really matter at that time. But once the CBA changed, it was still kind of the same vibe. Coach did a good job of taking care of us, and Mike Smith was my first coach, and he did a great job of keeping guys fresh. But you had to go out and inside run. You need to go handle your business. We go out there, hit a little bit, and then toward the end of practice, we want to be out of those and into like our shells and just kind of running around and making sure that it looks a certain way. And I was blessed there. And then Bruce Arians, he called our training camp in Arizona Cupcake Camp. So, it wasn't a lot of hitting going on there either, man. But like I said, I won 70-something% of my games in the league. So it was like we were.
That's a crazy stat.
We literally were grooving, So it was like every year was smooth. And then the years that I didn't, practice a lot were years that I was hurt. Those were the years that the teams kind of were getting beat up a little bit. But in 2013, after we lost the NFC Championship game, Mike Smith switched it up on everybody, man. And that was a year where we came back and he had this code word called Miami. Yeah. And once you messed up a play, Miami. That means run it back on the ball. And, man, none of our dogs got to the gate. None of the horses made it to the season. Me included, man. We all kind of suffered from it. So I think it's a good topic for guys to be talking about because you want to be healthy at the end of the year, give your organization, your franchise the best opportunity to go out there and win. So the modern day coaches are figuring it out. They see you don't have to hit as much, you don't have to beat each other up as much, and you can still be successful. And I think COVID kind of showed the way a little bit for that. So that seems to be the trend is to take care of the guys. So Harbaugh, Matt, I can tell you about him.
Yeah. But so Spoon, before I go to Matt, so do you think there is like a correlation between how physical your training camp is, your practice is, to how healthy you can be during the season?
Yeah, because it goes on. It goes to today's way of training. It's not really about callus building these days. When you talk about training, it's more so sharpening your tool, just making sure your skills are right. But like going back to back to back to back to back, I think that's tough on this generation of athletes and those older coaches. They're either going to get with that or they're going to get passed on. But are you going to hear guys leaving those teams talking about those coaches in those ways? But I think you still got to get your work in. You still got to get your work in, but take care of you guys.
J-Mac, I'll come to you, man, because you actually did spend time with the Ravens under Coach Harbaugh. And let's not get it twisted, man. He's won Super Bowl. Like, he's a good coach. Something about that system was working, but we did see a lot of injuries over the past couple of seasons from some key players. So, J-Mac, what was it like under Harbaugh? Would you consider that to be one of the tougher coaches you've been under?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take it back to Big Red, man, because Harbaugh comes from that same tree. So Big Red's known for having a very, 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 very tough training camp. Like he's been known for having that. I remember as a rookie coming in and we're doing live goal line periods in training camp, and I'm just like,
we did.
What is going on? You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it seems like though, and even my time with Big Red in Philly compared to my time with Big Red in Kansas City, like he did change a little bit, right? But one thing about him, man, like I think people have so much respect for him because he values all of us as like as men, but like he also demands a certain type of work ethic from us as well. Like you gonna work, man. You gonna run, right? And in training camp is gonna be real physical, right? So I remember growing up in that system, right? We was running, me, Jack, like, bro, we got down on the field periods. Not everybody does it, but we might have 2-3 of them in a practice. 10, 12 plays where we're taking 50, 60-yard shots. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy.
You're going to run, right? And it was the same way in Kansas City, not as like demanding, but still the same way. And then you go to Baltimore, it was kind of like the same thing. And it was almost like different guy, but I could tell he came from the Coach Reed tree, which, Coach Holgram, and the list goes on and on. McDermott and like all these guys, Riviera, like, but it seems now, man, if you're kind of an older coach, if you don't kind of transition with the times, man, it seems like they're all kind of getting phased out a little bit, right? So Tomlin, and then you got Harbaugh now. Who we thought that he was going
Belichick.
We thought those guys were going to write their own ticket up out of there. You know what I mean? And now you're seeing so many people trying to get. You see so many owners and organizations, I guess, trying to get younger, maybe more so with the times. But it definitely was hard. We ran a lot. When it was padded days, like it was padded days. It was what it was. And maybe those are some of the things that Zay was talking about. I know he mentioned doing one-on-ones and full pads and things like that. And y'all know how it is, man. If you're in full pads and you go out there with the mindset, I got to get this work in, you're going to go get the work in. If you go out there in full pads, you're like, man, I don't feel like moving today, man. Like, we all know that's when the injuries start happening. You get tripped up, like you're not, you know what I mean? So, I do think that this generation of players, and it's so crazy. I played 9 years ago, right? 9 years ago was my last year, 2017. So much has changed in 9 years, man. Like, it's almost like football, like the game is still the self, but everything else that's required of the game has changed. And like, so, I think part of it is you got to listen to your players. So if your players are in the locker room and they're saying, like, hey, like, we're a little beat up, coach. Like, I think there's a fine line between saying, no, we got to go out here and get this work, or let me listen to the masses of my team.
Hey, Mac, when you said that, it made a lot of sense because I think Ed Reed said this. He said like the best coaches were the coaches who were coachable. Because you have to learn from your players as well in the direct situation that you're in. You have to adapt to that. So I think the coaches that can catch on to what's going on and how things can make their players more comfortable and allow them to play faster. Those are the coaches that are going to continue to get the jobs and be successful in my mind. But at the end of the day, like you're pros, you get paid. Hey, when the game come on, you should look. That's how you should look. You should be going.
Frank, I'm gonna tell you, like, so I had Chip too for 2 years, and Chip, everything was sports science and fast paced, and so we ran a bunch to the point where like we dang near had a strike. The players almost went on strike. We're like, hey man, like something got to give. You know what I mean? But like, so like it's just so crazy. I've never had. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest with y'all, and I love, like, I like Chip as a coach. Like, I like Chip as a coach. Like Big Red as a coach, right? I enjoyed Harbaugh, right? But I guess I've never had a coach that I guess this modern day kind of take care of the. We grinded, right? It's always been a grind for me. So
well, the running part, that's key though. In this league, right? Like when we came in, you didn't have linebackers running the way that the linebackers are running now. You know,
that's true.
You had some, but I think running is such a premium that part you just really you can't do nothing about that. We gonna have to run. Like every team should be flying around, but the actual hitting part, that's where it kind of like if we're physical as a football team and we taking care of our business, man. I mean, like the Ravens have been for years. I mean, we've seen them be relevant at the top of the year where you want to be relevant. It seemed like they just weren't getting any bones thrown their way, and you know, obviously when the coach is gone, you know, guys gonna feel more empowered to say what they want to
speak
say.
up. Yeah.
And y'all they say that it's not always the best team that wins; it's the team that's the most healthiest, right?
There it is, and there's different ways to do it.
Yeah, Mac, you mentioned when Chip was in Philly that the players almost went on like a strike.
I'm exaggerating, but like it was some older vets that were like, "Yo, man, like we running way too much."
Players only meetings.
So we had. Wait, hold on, real quick. So we didn't. So Fridays was our walkthrough. We practiced full speed, very short on Saturdays. Very short version. And like that threw everybody. Oh, it was like some sports science, man. We lifted on Saturdays.
What's going on?
We did a little auxiliary lift, but could you imagine like a full speed dress rehearsal on Saturday? You tweak your ankle and you ain't got no time to even get it right. Like on Friday, that was our dress rehearsals on the teams I was on.
Even that's what we used to. Yeah,
if you tweak something,
Saturday
we
walked.
You got a day to sit at Epsom Salt and go see that chiropractor. You know, but like a practice on Saturday is man, that's
we get into practicing.
A Saturday practice.
Now before you go, it's probably a less version of like what a normal fast Friday practice would be.
Okay.
But we still out there. We're full speed timing.
You break a sweat.
Hey, Mac. Yeah, break a sweat. That's the part I was about to say, Kev. That had to be one of them sweats where you smelled rumor and rounds 32. What you just smelled the whole city of Philly coming up out them pores at practice.
Everything.
When Vince Young was in Philly, them Friday practices for Thirsty Thursdays, that's all I gotta say. Them Friday practices, boy.
We used to go vibe on a Thursday, and then we'll be at the walkthrough, and we're gonna lock it in. Then
hold on. The Falcons were from Bree. I got a couple stories about y'all, but that's another time. Listen, my rookie year under Jack Del Rio, he got fired like week 6 or 7, right? Mel Tucker, who ended up coaching at Michigan State, he was our interim coach for that season.
Yeah.
We may have won, I think, 4 games that year. So it's like week 17, I'm sorry, week like 15. And I'm telling you, in the middle of the locker room, right on the Jaguar head, the shoulder pads were stacked so high because he kept making us go full pads. And a lot of cats had got, it was like a crown, like a mountain of shoulder pads. People just kept stacking them, bro, stacking them. So it's really close to being a strike. I'm not sure. I think it was Paul Puzlesny. He walked up to the mountain of shoulder pads, dog, and helmets, and he grabbed his and he said, "Fellas, we ain't won enough games to be that like this. Let's put our pads on." And you watch everybody go grab that pads and put them back on. Like, it was crazy because we were about to sit in that locker room. Nobody was touching shoulder pads until Tuck came in there, and we're going to show him, look, we're not going out. I've never seen this, dog. But also, for me, I didn't know that you're supposed to, like, kind of take care of players. At Mizzou, in college, you just put on pads, and this is what it is. So when I'm seeing guys upset about pads, I'm like, oh, this is a thing. We shouldn't be doing this in week 15. So get what Flowers is saying for today's athlete. But
you know what's crazy? For us, though, like, we catch the ball. You're not lighting us up. You're not. You know what I mean? Like,
true,
I guess
true.
For the interior guys,
but the
like, they're the ones that are banging. It's like, yo, let one of them say it. You know what I mean? Like, if it really was that big of an issue, like you talking about some full pass 1-on-1, I think for me, like, it's more of like a mindset, right? It's like, all right, dang, they got us in these pads. I don't want to be in these pads. I'm gonna go out here and go half speed or 3/4 speed, and next thing you know, I got tangled up and. Because we out here kind of going through the motions a little bit, and I'm not saying that's what Zay was doing. I'm just saying, like, that to me, like, that's where my mind goes.
it's not a good look for Zay, in my opinion. Just my football opinion, but I understand the times and what it is. But like it was an honor to put those pads on and go practice, man, doing the job that you love to do, dog, at the highest level. And you, like Max said, you were gonna take care of each other, man. You got a little brother-in-law, Pat. You know what I'm saying? You tell, hey, now, hold me right there when the ball goes. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit of that going on too, man, because you got to get, man, if you ain't no good on Sunday, then we all going to be out of here. So that was the mindset. Like, we better get it right because everybody going to be gone anyway, man. Like, coach going to run it how he run it, man, and we got to be there.
Yeah. And let's be honest, man, that game is of all the sports between practice and the game, it's the hardest to, like, simulate. Without, cause you want to protect people, but the name of the game is run and hit. You know what I mean? So it's difficult to say, all right, we're not going to do pass this week and then expect everybody to come out here and just, make all their tackles. I don't know, or get used to, a physical tackle. And now you fumble the ball. Well, not, you have to put yourself in a situation, I think.
But here's also the thing, bro. Like they're not tackling stud. Like I thud every time for the most part. Like we thud a lot. Like but I don't.
Yeah.
I tackle one time, well, really twice, before we get to our season. Mm-hmm. One of them's the jamboree. One of them I had a little scrimmage on like a Saturday. Like so, nobody's really going down to the ground stud. Like hey, like. But if you thud the right way, you getting out of that thing and you just getting your work in, you're form fitting, you doing what you need to do. Hear a little shoulder pad pop and you move on, right? So, I don't know.
It's different, man. I just feel like, guys used to really put it out there on the line. The game was so physical. How you going to ask that man to come and hit in practice? You know what I'm saying? After what he just did against Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's crazy.
They used to be fullbacks.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So I think, Mac, you're right. It should have been one of the interior guys or linebackers because I had a game where I think I may have finished with like 8, 9 tackles, which is very high for a corner.
You saw
it. The next day, I felt like I got hit by a truck. So I can only imagine like what Spoon and other linebackers and D linemen and O linemen and running backs and fullbacks are, because it's every play. You don't get a play off, you know what I mean, where you have to pop pass. So you leave a game as a linebacker, I don't even know, let's say you have a bunch of tackles. That's still just a fraction of how many times you've had to engage, put your pass on somebody. It's a physical game down there. So I think those guys should be the ones who speak up and say, what?
Hey, what though? When you watch that tape and you see the DNA of your team, then that's when you write your prescription too. So some of these teams, if they ain't, because I ain't gonna lie, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, that AFC North stuff was brutal for years and years and years. I can't even say it's on the same level that it once was, but that's a physical conference, man. So I feel like when you watch those teams play, they're usually hitting too. So maybe that's what gave them the edge, because I know Tomlin was doing those, tackling drills, like 4 live tackling drills. Like maybe, I don't know if it was every day, but a lot of the time these teams were really getting after it. And that kind of was their DNA on tape too. So maybe they just sticking to their guns. But at the end of the day, man, the players going to make the coaches look the right way, man. So you got to keep them guys happy.
Yeah, I feel you. I agree. So let's move on, man. We got NFL draft coming up. The NFL draft is coming up. We got some Mizzou guys who will be in the draft. Hopefully we have some guys taken pretty early in the draft this year as well, man. Mac, who are you liking? First off, I have a question because I have a hot take, I believe.
Yep.
I don't like Mendoza as the number 1 pick. I actually think Ty Simpson was a better player than him.
I think that if you would have said that before the season, yes. I think the way this season played out, and then I think also like the way that they looked head to head as if I'm a GM, if I'm a head coach, right? Like that has to ring in my mind a little bit. Now,
but Ty Simpson got hurt though.
I got you. Mm-hmm. But I just think that
Colt McCoy dropped when he got hurt.
Good point.
Yeah, true. I think I'm higher on Mendoza right now than I was kind of during the season. Right, I've kind of watched some draft stuff. He can play, man. He can make every throw. He's a big kid. He's more athletic than people think that he is. And Chase Daniel said it best the other day. He said he thinks Mendoza is going to be the best one in the class long term. He thinks Ty Simpson is the one that can go in day one and start for organization. And I think I kind of agree with that, but I do believe that Mendoza he can play. Now, you tell me, do you go get Kirk Cousins and pay the man $20 million to not play a snap, or do you get there and you got him and is he gonna help Mendoza get his feet wet, and maybe have him take over halfway through the year, or maybe this is a whole learning year, right? Look what Pat did under Alex Smith, right? Mm-hmm. Look at that seemed to have worked, right? Like, so I don't know.
Well, they roughly, Mac, they're probably going to have to pay him like over $11 million. I think.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
for their money.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I just wanted to be,
Yeah, I got you.
Let you know about that. I know you know that, but I feel you though. I feel you. To me, if I was asked my opinion about him, I think he showed us exactly what he needed to show us, and it ain't nothing to say but just wait. And we just want to see him play whenever he plays. Like if he gets a chance to grow a little bit, I think that's always good for a player to go in and kind of learn the ropes before they give them to him, especially in a place where it's so rough. Like they haven't done anything in a while. But if you pick him that high, it's like, man, come on, save us too. It's like
save us.
He seems, but he also but he also seems like just a genuine good dude.
Yeah, he does. He does.
What I mean? Like
he makes you root for him. Yeah, he is.
Like you root for him. Kind of gives you like a mix of like Kirk Cousins vibe with maybe like a little more hip modern. You know what I mean? So,
not the arm that Kirk Cousins has. I got you. Yeah.
So I think he's gonna be good, man. I think he's gonna be good. I know you didn't ask for this, but if anybody's watching out there, you want a sleeper, I think it's Drew Allard from Penn State. He got hurt. He was supposed to be a first round draft pick before he got hurt. I'm telling you right now, he can spin the football. Now I don't know.
Haven't seen enough of him.
System based. I would love to see him go to the Rams or somewhere like that. I'm telling y'all right now, he can flat out play.
Hey, who's the kid from Boise that transferred into Arkansas that got the numbers that like Calvin Johnson's like numbers at the combine?
Green.
Hey, bro,
yeah.
I can't wait to see like where he would fall and kind of what that project would look like long term. Not something where you say like he might pop off day one, but I want to see like if somebody can move him to receiver or if they're gonna let him stay at quarterback. Because I saw him and Gruden talking, and Gruden was like, "What do you think, man? I've seen a lot of great receivers, man. I've seen nobody do this except for Calvin. So like, when you think we might be able to talk you into that?" He's like, "No, I'm a quarterback." So it's a few guys that.
I love him standing down because I do think he's a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Even watching him throw at the combine, I thought he has a big live arm. Mm-hmm. I thought he was a little sporadic with the ball. For me, the league are copycats. It's a copycat league. Right. I hope what happened with Richardson doesn't turn people away from Green.
Right on.
I hope that doesn't happen because Green deserves a shot. Anybody with that type of athletic ability, he deserves a shot to be drafted as a quarterback. And if he's one of your best athletes, then it's your job to put him where you need to put him. If for whatever reason that position doesn't, because he's a freak. He's a freak.
6'6", 4'3", 43-inch vert. Like
that's crazy.
Matt
But
Jones,
I mean, he's not. Who's he going? He's not gonna go start for somebody.
No, but check this out, bro. Sometimes people have things that you cannot you don't see very often.
Right.
So, like, I'm telling you right now, even Richardson to me, like, he needs a fresh start somewhere. You go somewhere. Like, I don't want us to have seen the last of him. Like, get him somewhere. Yeah. Let him go learn. Like, Justin Fields is doing an awesome thing right now. I think going to Kansas City, learning under Pat, right? Maybe you have to play this year a little bit if Pat don't come back in time. Like, playing with Coach Reed, how creative, like go somewhere. Go to L.A. or go. I mean, go to what's my big arm guy in the other LA team, the Chargers?
Herbert. Yeah.
Now you're not gonna play there, but like your skill set and how they run things and look at what he's. You know what I mean? I think that's.
You gotta go learn, man. You gotta go learn.
I just think at the QB position, man, it's easy to get stuck in that backup role. And I'm not mad at a player wanting to go to a situation where he thinks, I might be able to play. Instead of going to learn behind Mahomes or Herbert. You know what I mean? I get it.
Eventually, though, you'll be a free agent, at some point.
That's when you choose.
But at that point, I don't think, and I think Fields can play. But I think you had your shot in Chicago, you had your shot in New York. I think this was the best opportunity for him. I don't know
He got
why would
multiple
you
shots.
want to go anyplace else and try. You know what I mean? Like
Nah,
Pittsburgh
yeah,
as well, right?
Because you might get lost. It might be over for you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
I agree. So quickly, I want to, for all the people who are the players who are about to get drafted, about to go through this process, man. Even the first rounders. Do we think Zion is going to go first round? What we
hope he
hear?
gets his name called.
I think it could happen, man. I think he's been ascending. Since he's been at Missouri, he's been ascending, and during the process, he seemed to really have, just taken it out of the water. Went to the combine, performed well. The Senior Bowl was really big for him. He was dominant at the Senior Bowl. McClellan played well at the Senior Bowl too. I think he could probably be a third, fourth round pick too. It wouldn't surprise me if I heard his name in the second round coming out the SEC, being a dog. But Zion, I think legitimately has a shot to be a late first round pick. I think, but I was thinking second round. I won't hear his name. But Trotter as well. I think he could possibly be an early second round pick too, man. Kind of in that Nick Bolton range where the Chiefs are at. And it's some guys at the zoo, man.
I think I've seen him anywhere from like 36 to like 46 in that range. But you know how
Who's that?
Young.
Oh, Young.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, I think if you see a run of edges and DNs, I think he could go. It just depends. And I'm telling you right now, like you talk about all the guys up front, right? Reese, Bailey, you talk about all those guys, right? But like, call me crazy, right? But like Zion's close to like I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but like now the guy from Texas Tech, he can get after the passer now. Like he got a motor, he can get and he's relentless. But like, bro, I've seen Young do some stuff, man, where I'm like, yo, like, all right, you know what I mean? So like,
impressive.
Yeah, I think
he's a guy that has the energy that it kind of seems like people around him just kind of feed off of that, and he says it and he does it. And to see him go do that at the Senior Bowl the same way, I think that was the step for me where it was like, oh man, not only did he do it in the SEC, but he went down where everybody's on their biggest job interview and he put on himself, man. And I think that, he's definitely got great handlers. He signed with Athletes First. They'll put him in position to be ready to be ready for whatever's coming his way. And the way he played at Missouri, I mean, he reminded me of Marcus Golden the way he finished his career at Missouri. Like just a ball player. Man.
Great comparison.
Another Mizzou guy that I think earned a couple of dollars at the Senior Bowl was Kevin Coleman. So he had a really good Senior Bowl as well. So
I think Toriano Pride might have got it.
Pride,
you go 4-3 something.
He ran. Woo.
So I mean, I think this might be another good year for Mizzou in terms of the draft, man. I'm looking forward to watching these guys get the names called, no matter what that day may be. Before we go though, any advice for you two, the guys who are going to hear their name called, man, in that first round? Just give me a quick initial feeling to hearing your name called, like these guys are going to get coming up here pretty soon.
You want to go first, Frank? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go ahead, Spoon. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you got seniority. You get honors.
Give you honors.
You know what I'm saying? But, man, the advice, that I give them is don't be upset that you're not in New York. That don't mean, or wherever the draft may be. I apologize for not keeping up with where it actually is this year.
Pittsburgh.
No clue.
It's in Pittsburgh. That's going to be great. I like how they taking it around because that is a great event and people really turn out for these events. I saw it was in Kansas City not long ago too, and have some great turnouts in Green Bay recently. So that'd be great. But if you're not there, don't let that get you down. Just relish the time you have, with your family. It's kind of like the calm before the storm because I know you've been going through this whole process since your last camp in college and you've been grinding for this moment. And, it's only going to pick up once you get your name called, and the real expectations really come with it. You really have a job then, and you got to go and put that work in. So I would say, man, enjoy your family, spend time with your loved ones. Don't let your old lady grab your phone when the GM call you. It's been some funny stuff going on at the draft. But really, man, just take it all in, have a good time. And I hope these kids go to the places they want to go and prove, the people that doubt them wrong. And ultimately, you got to confirm what you believe about yourself when you take this next step, man. Don't let all the noise get in the way of what you have to do. And God bless you and enjoy it. Enjoy it.
J-Mac, what about you? What do you got for him?
Man, I think the big thing, man, is just be present in the moment, right? Like I think, you can get caught up in a lot of those different things and different, events you got going on. Whether you got people at the crib or like Spoon just said, whether you got a chance to go to Pittsburgh, whatever the case may be. I chose to stay at home. I got invited, chose to stay at home, and I think it was probably, one of the better decisions I made. So.
Hey Mac, they chose me to stay at home.
I chose to do the ESPN thing at home and spend it with my family, man. But man, I think, man, like Spoon just said, man, it's an awesome opportunity for a lot of these guys. They've been thinking about this since they could barely walk, right? And it's been dreams of theirs. And you're finally getting an opportunity to live that dream. So man, enjoy it. You earned it. And then, man, like, don't be so upset if things don't necessarily fall the way that you wanted them to fall. But man, whenever you hear that name call, man, it's time to go to work, man. It's time to go to work now, right? So, enjoy it, stay in the moment, enjoy it with your loved ones. But now, like Spoon just said, the expectations and everything starts, man. Like, what you did at Clemson don't matter no more. What you did at Mizzou don't matter no more. Hey, what are you doing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? How can you help us become a better franchise and go win the Super Bowl, right? That's what it boils down to. So, them teams, right? I know I skipped ahead, right? First round, they don't first through undrafted. Them special teams, man. Like,
Teams.
Y'all get drafted and you get out there to that mini camp, right? I don't even know if they didn't call OT. I don't know what they call no more. I don't know what they call them. But when you get there, man, get on them teams, man. Get on them
Special teams. Listen, those are special teams.
Right.
Kickoff, punt return, kick return, field goal.
So the guys who had the luxury of not doing it in college, 95% of y'all not gonna have that luxury when you get to the league.
Hey, one more thing too. Let all them stats go. Like, ain't nothing like it's a new slate. Like, I don't care how much you lift, man. It's a man out there with 4 kids and some expectations at home. You know what I'm saying? Like that grown man strength a little different than that college, that youth strength. You know, like you're gonna meet some people that know the tricks of the trade. I would say find you a pro. Like find that pro in the building that everybody look at with that certain look, like that certain respect. And I wouldn't say emulate what he does, but find what works for you. You know, how to be a pro. I remember hitting the sled when I first got to Atlanta. I go up after the guys. You know, I'm the young guy, so I go up last. I hit the sled. Get off me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah. The coach like, do it again. I'm like, huh? I'm watching the first guy, my boy Mike Peterson. He been doing it 10, 11, 12 years. Man, he barely touched this. He just moved. I was like, oh, Curtis Lofton, same thing. Get off me, boy. I come through. Again. Again. But it was like I was out there getting blocked by the sled, Mac. But everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't going to have the same reach. Like, do something to stand out. And I tell you, if you can work on special teams, then they'll be calling you. Ask Kevin where he started at. I started on
Most
teams.
definitely.
Mac played some teams. Sure, he know about that return game. I mean,
you gotta get them teams.
Hey, listen, a little funny special team story though. When they put me and Shady on kickoff, right? They kicked the ball off, right? We was at the speed guy. We were supposed to be the first ones down the field. Me and Shady talked to each other on the sideline. Like, hey man,
don't run
that. The last ones down the field, they took
don't
us
look
off.
too fast.
They took us on kickoff. The next rep. We're down to one kickoff. My 30 kept career. Hey, don't do that, though, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that one.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, look, fellas, once again, man, it's been a great night. To the listeners, please check in with us next week, man. We are your true sons. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Rutland, here with Sean Weatherspoon and Jeremy Maclin.
What we got next week? What we got next week?
What we got next week?
Yeah, what we gonna dive into next week? Look, what you got for him? What we got for him right now?
I think we're doing a draft recap, and then I think we're gonna put Kevin on the hot seat next week.
Okay.
I take the hot seat. I'll take it.
We got some questions for ye to ye.
Nothing too hot. Nothing too hot. All right, man. Look, fellas.
Draft though.
I love it. I love it. Once again, your true sons. Have a good night. See you guys next week.